Okay, hello everyone. Ang lecture natin ngayon tungkol pa rin sa IO Psychology. Title, Evaluating Training Programs. Actually, continuation to ng lecture ko on training and development in the field of IO Psychology. I highly suggest, panoorin nyo muna yung lecture ko on training and development. Ito yung parang part 2 of my lecture on that topic. Paano ba mag-evaluate ng mga training programs na binibigay sa mga organizations. Now, as a point of example lang in this lecture, imagine, isa ka sa mga crew ng Jollibee na nag-undergo ng training. Okay, so just use your imagination here. At ang maganda dito, yung training ninyo, ginawa nyo sa Boracay. Social, di ba? So, training crew ka, trainee ka, you want to be a crew service in Jollibee, nag-training kayo sa Boracay 3 days. At ito yung mga topics na training nyo. Advanced cashiering, store cleanliness, and customer service. So, 3 days yan. Nandoon kayo sa Boracay. Ito yung parang welcome banner nyo when you went to Boracay. Yan. Ito yung nasa labas nung branch nung Jollibee. May welcome to Boracay, and then nag-undergo kayo ng 3 days training program. Okay, so babalik-balikan natin yung example na yan. So this is the conceptual map, should I say, in training or in evaluating training programs, di ba? Last lecture, I focus on needs analysis. Lahat nagsisimula sa needs analysis. You are going to gather data para malaman mo kung anong training program yung gagawin mo. And let me take this opportunity to emphasize that idea, very important. Hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng training program kung hindi ka naman nag-needs analysis. Everything starts with needs analysis. Magsasayang ka lang ng pera, magsasayang ka lang ng oras kung gumawa ka ng training program na walang needs analysis. Kasi mataas yung tendency na baka yung training program na ginawa mo hindi naman kailangan. Hindi naman siya need nung company, so bakit mo iraran yung training program mo? So para maiwasan yon, para lahat ng training program na ipopropose mo, sure ball, kailangan ng company, you start with needs analysis. The needs analysis will dictate what training program you're gonna make. So after you made the training program, nakasulat ka na ng curriculum, meron ka na mga materials, meron ka ng training outline, then you run the training program. I-apply mo na. So gagamit ka na dito ng resource speaker o ng trainer. Pwedeng in-house, pwedeng outsource. And after running the training program, umattend na yung mga participants, dito na papasok yung topic natin for this lecture. Next phase, i-evaluate mo kung kamusta yung training program. The main question we want to answer in evaluation is, was the training program worth it? Everybody say worth it. Anong ibig sabihin ng worth it sa Tagalog? Sulit ba? Tanong, bakit natin pinoproblema kung sulit ba yung training program? Remember kasi, ang training program has a cost. Malaki ang gastusin kapag ikaw gumawa ng training program at niran mo yung training program, maglalabas ka talaga ng pera dyan. If you remember my slide in the previous lecture, ito yung mga reasons bakit ka maglalabas ng pera. Kasi susulat ka ng curriculum, babayaran mo yung trainer, magpapareserve ka ng venue, plane ticket, hotel accommodations, papakainin mo yung mga participants sa training, kailangan mo ng manpower to make the training event successful. Lahat yan, kailangan mong paggastusan ng pera. So, it's just logical na talagang tanungin mo at the end of the training program, naging sulit ba yung training program mo? Kaya nga, going back to the framework, yan yung key question natin. Sulit ba, worth it ba yung nilabas mong pera? Okay? And later on, still in connection to this, bakit kinakailangang problemahin natin kung worth it ba yung training? Kasi later on sa strategic planning, kapag magpaplano ka for each year, di ba? Bago mag-start yung another year, isa yan sa mga decisions you have to make about the training. Yung training program ba na niran mo, number 1, are you going to continue it? Tutuloy ba natin? Imo-modify mo ba yung training program na niran mo? Or kailangan nang ihinto yung training program na niran mo? And your decision, kung anumang desisyon yung gagawin mo dito, continue, modify, or discontinue, nakadepende yan sa sagot na, ito na nga, was the training program worth it? Yung sagot mo dyan will determine kung anong decision yung gagawin mo dyan sa tatlo. Maliwanag. That's why it's important na ang training programs talagang ini-evaluate. Hindi pwedeng hindi. Lahat ng training programs na niran, very important to be evaluated. Now, before we dig deeper into the strategies kung paano mag-evaluate ng training programs, no, gusto ko lang i-introduce tong concept na to, a very critical variable in doing training evaluation, key performance indicator. Anong ibig sabihin ng key performance indicator? Nakalagay dito, specific measurable behaviors that reflect good employee performance na nakasulat sa, remember, job description. So kung gusto mong malaman ano yung mga KPIs, ano yung mga behaviors na kapag magaling ang tao doon, most likely maganda yung performance niya in the organization, nakalagay yan sa job description. Kaya gusto kong i-emphasize dito, no, na lahat ng training programs, as in lahat, no exception, yan ang target. Bakit ka may isang training program? Kasi meron kang gustong skill, meron kang gustong behavior na pagandahin. Kasi pag yung behavior na yon gumanda, kapag yung behavior na yon gumaling, yung mga empleyado mo doon, ikagaganda yon ng organization. All training programs aim to enhance a certain key performance indicator. Maliwanag. So yan yung ibig sabihin ng key performance indicator. Mahalaga na bago ka mag-evaluate ng training program, alam mo yung key performance indicator mo. At madali lang naman hanapin yan, nakasulat yan sa job description. Anong mga behaviors doon sa job description na kapag magaling yung mga tao doon, ikagaganda ng organization. Kaya nga, after everything I've said, I'm sure ang dami kong sinabi, no? Ito lang yung simpleng principle I want to point out. All training programs enhance at least one KPI. Paano mo malalaman kung yung training program maganda or usable? Kapag yung training program na yon, pinapataas niya yung isang KPI. Hindi pwedeng disconnected ang training program at ang KPI. The moment na napansin mo na yung training program walang kinalaman sa anumang KPI ng organization, walang kinalaman sa mga skills na nakasulat sa JD, hindi magandang training program yan. Aksaya lang ng oras at ng pera yan. Maliwanag, some examples of KPIs para mas konkreto. Halimbawa, doon sa crew training, crew ka ng Jollibee, ito yung mga KPIs dyan. Diba? Speed of preparation. Gaano ka kabilis magbalot ng mga take-out food or pang-delivery. Diba? Number of customers served. Ilang customers ang nasuserve mo in a specific amount of time. Ilang complaints yung natatanggap ng branch. Siyempre, dapat mas mababa yan. Mas mababa ang complaints, mas maganda ang service. Number of errors and accidents in the kitchen, ganun din. Mas mababa error, mas mababa accidents, mas maganda yung performance. Bottom line, etong mga yellow words na to, examples of key performance indicators. Ito yung mga behaviors na kapag maganda ang output, maganda ang numero, ibig sabihin, nagiging maganda ang takbo ng organization. So, yung speed of preparation dapat mababa. Ibig sabihin, mabilis. Number of customers served dapat mataas. Number of complaints, number of errors, parehong dapat mababa. And why is it important na ma-enhance yung KPI? Kasi kapag ang KPI, ang mga empleyado mo magagaling dyan, it translates to profit. Nagiging pera yan. At yung pera na yan, pwede mong paikutin to further develop the organization. Pwede kang mag-expand. Pwede mong pataasin yung sweldo ng mga empleyado mo. Pwede kang magbigay ng mga bonuses, so on and so forth. So it's important to enhance the KPIs para mag-translate yan sa profit. Yan dapat ang pinaka-outcome ng isang matino, ng isang magandang training program. Nag-run ka ng training program, later on, fast forward, na-translate mo sa profit. So now let's go back to the main question, no, na pinag-uusapan natin. After you run a training program, paano mo nga malalaman kung yung training program is worth it? Paano mo malalaman kung yung training program naging successful sa pagpapataas ng mga KPIs? Alright? Or sa pag-i-improve, pag-i-improve ng mga KPIs. Merong 4 na ways on how to do that. Number 1, participant survey, pwedeng training exam, pwedeng before and after performance, pwedeng return of investment. Isa-isahin natin. Let's move on to participant survey. So this is a way of evaluating training programs where ang gagawin mo lang, tatanungin mo yung training participants. Obviously. Very logical. Naging effective ba yung training program? Di tanungin mo kung sinong mga sumali sa training program. If they benefited from the training program. And there are two ways how to do this. Pwede mo silang tanungin right after the training or months after the training. So, punta tayo dun sa Boracay kung saan ginawa yung 3 days training program. On the 3rd day of the training program, nung closing ceremony, anong ginawa mo? Anong dapat gawin ng HR staff dito? Namigay dapat siya ng evaluation form. Mapapansin nyo yan. Sa lahat ng seminar, sa lahat ng training na aatenan nyo, most likely, merong evaluation form na pinapakalat. Ngayon, dito sa 3 days training program sa Boracay, anong laman ng training program? Anong laman ng training evaluation form? Maraming possibility yan, no? But let me just offer some. Halimbawa, yan. Very critical, you ask this question. Do you think what you learned today will help you in doing your job better? Diba? And of course, para rin makuha mo yung qualitative version nito, tanungin mo na yung mga suggestions. Kung ano mga pwedeng gawin sa training program next time na i-run to. Kolektahin mo yung mga other suggestions na yon and then gagamitin yon later on to adjust certain elements in the training program. O diba, paano mo malalaman? Yung mga sagot sa mga questions na yan, mamimigay ka nga ng evaluation form. O ngayon, paano mo malalaman kung naging worth it ba yung training program? Based on this method, kung halos lahat ng trainees sinabi na oo, nag-benefit sila, natuwa sila, marami silang natutunan sa training program, then it can be an indicator worth it yung training program na niran mo. You see that? Now, how about the other one? Pwede ka rin magbigay ng survey months after the training. So, from Boracay, pauwiin mo muna ng Manila, magtrabaho ulit sila sa branch, after 1 month, doon mo ibigay yung survey. Something like this. Itanong mo doon sa survey, 1 month after the training, did you think the training program made you perform better in your job? If majority of the employees said yes, talagang feel nila yung epekto ng training. Gumaling sila sa pagsusukli, gumaling sila sa pagtitimpla ng Chicken Joy, gumaling sila sa pag-handle ng customer service. Halos lahat sila yun yung na-feel nila, then we can say worth it yung training program sa Boracay. Next year, ituloy yan sa next batch. Diba? Or pwede mo rin itanong to para mas specific. What specific skills taught from the training program do you think really help you become better on the job? Kasi if you remember, yung slide ko kanina, hanapin natin, 3 yan eh. 3 yung topics dyan. Advanced cashiering, store cleanliness, customer service, 3 different modules. Sa modules na yan, alin ang sa tingin nilang pinaka-effective na nagpa-improve sa performance nila on the job 1 month after taking that training, alamin mo. Para next time, alam mo kung ano yung dapat mong i-run ulit in case that you run the training program again. Diba? Pwede rin to. Ito na pala yung kanina. Yan. What specific skills? Tanungin mo. That's very important. Para alam mo doon sa modules, ano yung pinaka-effective, ano yung pinaka-least effective. Alright? So, again, using this methodology, no, kung ang sagot ng mga empleyado mo sa survey na yan is yes, nakinabang sila sa training, feeling nila yung training program na kinuha nila, nagpagaling sa kanila, anong sagot? Generally, worth it yung training program. Now, what weakness can you spot in this approach? In evaluating training programs, napaka-obvious naman. There's a tendency na subjective yung mga sagot ng mga participants. Sasabihin na lang nila, oo, effective yung training program. Bakit? Kasi sino ba naman sila para magsabi na hindi effective yung training program? Marami sa kanila baka takot, baka i-take ng company yon negatively. Baka hindi na sila papasukan ng Jollibee kapag sinabi nilang hindi okay yung training program. Para naman silang walang utang na loob nun. Sila na nga yung pinadala sa Boracay. Sila na nga yung training. Wala na nga silang binayaran na pagkain or hotel. Sasabihin pa nila hindi effective. Diba? So most likely, sasabihin nila yes na lang. Or baka naman kaya nila sinabing yes, effective yan, kasi gusto nila yung mga next batches magpunta rin ng Boracay. Kasi sa next batch, nandun yung pinsan niya, nandun yung kapatid niya, nandun yung best friend niya. Eh, syempre, gusto rin niya na ma-experience nila yung Boracay. So, para ituloy yung training program na yan sa Boracay, sabihin na lang nila, yes, effective. Kahit sa totoo lang, hindi. Ang natutunan lang nila doon, mag-swimming. Nagigets nyo? So, that's the weakness of this survey approach in evaluating training programs. So, a more objective way to evaluate training programs, magpa-training exam ka. Ito, hindi ka pwede maging subjective dito. Practical or written exam that needs to be passed as a requirement to formally pass a training program. So, nagbigay ka ng training program, bago mo masabing nakapasa sila sa training program, kailangan makapasa muna sila doon sa exam na ibibigay mo after the training program. Take note, no? Kaya ko nga in-underline itong formally pass. Kasi in this kind of program evaluation, training program evaluation, kapag hindi mo na ipasa yan in the training, kailangan mong i-retraining. Hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho, hindi ka pwedeng pakawalan sa workplace hanggat hindi mo na ipapasa itong training exam na yan. So, pwede mong ikabagsak yan. O, kaya yung mga nag-aantay dyan na makagraduate na sa school kasi wala ng mga exam, after school, meron pa rin. Usually sa mga training programs na binibigay, you'll be given a training exam and you need to pass it. Nagigets nyo? O ngayon, paano mo malalaman na formally pass nga yung taong nag-training? Ano yung indicator niyan? Babalik ka sa KPI. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang trainee nakapasa siya sa isang training exam na ipakita niya yung magandang expression ng KPI. Gumaling siya sa paggagawa ng Chicken Joy, bumili siya sa paghahanda ng mga food na pang-delivery ng Jollibee, at naipakita niya na marunong siya ng tamang paraan paano maglinis ng store. Yan yung mga sample KPIs. Na kapag naipakita mo in your training exam, ibig sabihin, nakapasa ka sa training exam na yan. O ngayon, paano mo masasabi na worth it yung training program given this methodology in evaluating training programs kapag majority na nag-training pumasa? Diba, as you can see on the slide, nagbigay ka ng exam after the training, tapos nakita mo na nag-improve yung mga KPIs nila, lahat ng nag-training exam pumasa, ibig sabihin nun, worth it. Kasi makakaasa ka na yung pagpasa nila sa training exam during the training, itatranslate nila yon later on kapag nagtrabaho na sila outside. By the way, baka nagtataka kayo bakit dito merong mga police, no? Kasi yung kapulisan or even the army, madalas sa mga training programs nila, ganyan yung evaluation sa kanila. Hindi sila mag-move on sa next module hanggat hindi nila na ipapasa yung mga exams na yan in the training programs that they have taken. Yan, common yan sa mga police, sa mga army, sa any branch in the government na may kinalaman sa defense or peace and order. Yan, usually training exams talaga yung binibigay o yung ginagamit. And ito pala, ihabol ko pa, after you pass that training exam in that training program, usually mamimigay yan ng certification. Yan, certification na talagang naipasa mo yung training program na yan. Na ipakita mo na gumanda yung KPI na pinapataas ng training program na inatenan mo. Alright? So, ano naman ang weakness ng training exam as a method of evaluating training program? Ito naman yung weakness. Baka naman sa training lang magaling. Because there's always a tendency, may mga ganitong tao no, na magaling lang sila sa training, pero hindi nila natatranslate sa tunay na trabaho. Nagigets nyo? So, that's possible to happen. Ang taas ng grade niya doon sa training exam. Nakakuha naman ng certifications, training exam. Pero nung nilagay mo na sa trabaho, pumalpak. Hindi niya natatranslate yung learnings niya from the training program papunta sa trabaho niya. Okay, so, paano mo ma-overcome yung weakness na yan? You can use this methodology to evaluate training programs, the before and after performance. Ang ginagawa dito, we compare the KPI before the training to KPI after the training where? On the job. Kasi dito, yung in-evaluate mong performance nasa konteksto sila ng training eh. Remember, binibigay ito right after the training. Diba? Doon mismo, sa training room. Pero ito, yung before and after performance, ang context ito sa mismong trabaho on the job. Tignan mo kung yung mga numbers, yung mga KPIs na gusto mong makita, nangyayari nga ba after the participants have taken the training program. O halimbawa, balik tayo dun sa Jollibee example. Pinadala mo sila sa Boracay. Nag-training sila doon ng 3 days. O, anong gagawin mo kung before and after performance yung gagawin mo? Pauwiin mo muna yung mga trainees. Tapos, ilagay mo na sa mga branches. Ilagay mo na sila sa branch. Pagtrabahuhin mo ng 1 to 3 months or para sagad na 6 months. Pagtrabahuhin mo. O tapos, ikumpara mo yung data. Bago sila mag-training, ilan yung customer complaints. After nilang pumunta ng Boracay at nag-training sila nun, 6 months after the training, ilan ang customer complaints? Gets nyo? Before and after. Kapag nakita mo na yung customer complaints bumaba, before the training, ganito kataas ang customer complaints. After nila mag-Boracay training, bumaba yung customer complaints after 6 months, naging maganda yung training mo. Ganun din, time needed to serve take-out food or delivery food. Before the training, ganito sila katagal mag-prepare. After nila mag-Boracay training for 3 days, ganito sila kabilis mag-prepare, bumaba yung time, effective yung training program mo. Number of errors in the kitchen. Ganun din. Before the training, ang daming errors. Sunog yung chicken joy, hilaw pa yung french fries, hindi maayos ang hiwa doon sa hotdog na ilalagay sa spaghetti, daming errors. And nag-training ng 3 days sa Boracay. Pagbalik nila sa Manila, after 6 months, yun, bumaba yung errors in the kitchen. Ibig sabihin, in general, naging effective yung training program mo. Alright? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng before and after performance way of evaluating a training program. Ngayon, gusto ko lang ipasok dito, no? Side comment lang ako. I hope you realize that statistics is still used in the workplace. It is still needed in the industry. Para sa mga nagmamadali dyan na makagraduate para makatakas na sa statistics, guess what? Even in the workplace, lalong-lalo na kapag HR ka, mahalaga pa rin ang role ng statistics. Because statistics, specifically inferential statistics like t-test, kasi ito t-test ang gagamitin mo dyan eh. Diba? T-test yan para makita mo kung significant ba yung difference between before training and after training. Sana ma-realize nyo yung mga t-test, yung mga ANOVA, yung mga multiple regression na yan, kailangan yan sa industry. Ginagamit pa rin yan. And in a more technical term, ang tawag dyan, when you apply statistical processes sa industry, yan yung field na data analytics. And this is one of the trends today in HR, in human resources, in IO psychology. Kung gusto mong tumaas ang sweldo mo, kung gusto mong maging competent na HR staff, kailangan meron kang mastery ng data analytics. Basically, yun lang naman ibig sabihin yan eh. Ina-apply mo yung statistics in the workplace. Diba? Such as yun yung mga examples ko kanina yan, no? Mga data analytics yan. Kapag gumanyang ka, gumamit ka niyan, o ginawa mo yung research na yan, in a way nag-data analytics ka na. Application of statistical knowledge in the workplace to help you make certain decisions. Remember, kaya nga natin ginagawa to para malaman natin kung effective ba yung training program or hindi. Kaya ang application dito, sana talagang aralin nyo pa rin yung statistics nyo even after you graduate. Sana wag kayong magkaroon ng attitude na pag-graduate nyo, wala ng statistics. Takbo na sa statistics because it's very, very important. It's a very important skill set. Alright? And last one, number 4, another way to evaluate whether a training program is effective, i-analyze mo yung return of investment ng training. Sa Tagalog, magkano ang naipasok na pera after gumaling ang mga employees via the training. This is the more technical definition of ROI from the business perspective. Yan. Gaano kalaki yung bumalik sa yung kinita mo after you provided a training program. Yon. Siyempre, given this methodology, paano mo malalaman kung effective yung training program mo? E di kung lumaki yung profit mo after the training, Before nag-training yung mga tao mo, ito yung kinita ng shop mo. Pero after nila mag-training, pumunta sila sa Boracay, nag 3 days sila doon, ito na yung kinita mo after the training. Bumaba pa. Ano ibig sabihin yan? O, hindi maganda yung training. That tells you na merong mga aspeto sa training program na binigay mo na baka hindi effective. Kasi bumaba pa yung kita eh. Di ba? Bumaba pa yung kita after nag-training. O di hindi maganda yung training program. So, reviewin mo. Yung training program na binigay mo, maybe may mga modifications na kailangan gawin. Diba? Actually, pwede mo nga rin gamitin na naman to ng statistics. Gamitan mo ng multiple regression. Yan. So, i-quantify mo yung mga grades na nakuha nila sa modules. Advanced cashiering, store cleanliness, customer service, and then gawa ka ng paraan para ma-quantify mo yung profit mo this year. Tapos mag-run ka ng multiple regression. From there, malalaman mo alin dito sa tatlo ang pinaka nagsisignificantly predict ng profit. Diba? Yan yung ginagawa ng multiple regression eh. Kukumputin niya kung gaano kalaki yung contribution ng bawat isa dito doon sa overall profit ng organization. Again, ang bottom line lang dito kailangan mo pa rin ng statistics in the workplace. Kaya please lang, aralin nyo pa rin yung statistics nyo para marunong kayo mag-data analytics. Maliwanag. So, yun nga, no? Kapag nakita mo na yung profit mo this year talagang tumaas because of these modules, then, ibig sabihin, effective yung training program mo. Alright? Again, data analytics is very important in the workplace. Statistics applied in the industrial setting. So, those are the different ways on how to evaluate training programs. Paano? Mag-participant survey ka, magbigay ka ng training exam, before and after performance, or computin mo yung return of investment ng training program mo. And then from there, again, bakit mahalaga na sinasagot mo yung question na, is it worth it? From there, you make a decision what to do with your training program. Tutuloy mo pa ba yan next batch? Itutuloy mo pero may mga papalitan ka, may mga a-add ka, may mga tatanggalin ka? Or scrap out this training program, gawa na lang tayo ng bago na baka mas more effective? Alin sa tatlo dyan? Depende yan sa nakita mo dito. Alright? So those are the different ways on how to evaluate training programs. Sana marami kayong natutunan. If you have any questions, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.